guys, I'm going to do a video tonight on getting the eardrops in Quail's ears, and then how to get her into her crate without the e-collar on. So I'm hoping, she knows she's going to be eating dinner here shortly, so I'm hoping that she's not going to be too ridiculous about all of this, because I mean, you can even see it in her face, she's like ready to go right now. It's all because of food. Alright. So I'm going to get my eardrops ready. Let me get this a little bit closer. I bet it would help you if you could see more up close. Okay. So I need to get her up from her little down here, because her laying down is actually not helpful. Alright. So what I'm going to do is, can't see her. There you go. I love my lovely camera work here. So what you're going to do is I'm going to put the drops in this left ear, and I'm just going to kind of grab her collar and a little bit of her skin with the collar and just hold it real snug. Right? And so this is kind of keeps her head from balancing and kind of getting worked up. And then I'm going to brush this other hand right up her neck and put this in her ear. Squirt. Right, so I do a good hold, and then I want to go up her neck so she knows my hand, where my hand is going. You can kind of see she tilts back a little bit, you know, but much more tolerant. You know, just as a piece of advice, when I first start teaching dogs how to handle these kind of things more functionally and more appropriately, I do a lot of stopping and waiting. So if I see that she's really trying to get out of it or lay down, I'm not going to move forward. I'm going to stop and let her, you know, either reposition her or kind of let her settle more, and then I'll approach her again. So if she first comes home and she starts to show you any old indications, that's where you guys need to stop and kind of let the moment pass, maybe reposition her if you need to, and then go in and try again instead of pushing her when she's kind of giving you indications of like, all right, I kind of want to snap at you. The other thing that I kind of talked to you guys about at the midweek is never go into these types of situations where you're trying to be sensitive to her in a sense where you're being like overly emotional. Like, it's okay, Quail, everything's gonna be fine. I know she can't hear, but she can feel your intentions. And so the way I would go into it is more like, you guys are both teachers, so you know, when you go into a situation where you're teaching a kid something, it's you know, it's real cut and dry, real straightforward, real firm, not necessarily like baby stepping or baby talking the kid, because that can almost seem degrading in some ways. You know, I mean, you want to be positive, but you don't want to. It's like talking down to him, you know. So when you're kind of like, "Oh, Quail, it's okay, everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I love you, Quail." Like, she's not really actually gonna calm down. She's actually gonna get more intolerant. So it's really important that, you know, it's kind of like a nurse going into the patient's room to, you know, change needles and bandages and stuff. They just go in and they get it done. They don't baby talk them and get all emotional about it. Okay. That's it. So let's get it on this angle now. Well, no, maybe you can, sorry. I'm extremely indecisive, apparently. You can get it from this side so you can actually see me put the eardrops into the ear. So I'm going to grab her neck on this side and just kind of, you got to get some skin in it. And then I'm just going to go up and rub my hand up in through here so she knows where my hand is. You just kind of maneuver that thing right into the ear canal and push that stuff right into her ear. All right, so there's the Again, she's super good for me, so it might be a little bit different at home at first, but it honestly didn't take Quail very much time to learn this from me, just by the big pieces of advice that I gave you, which is, you know, approach her quietly, calmly, and with goals. You know, like picture what you want. That's a great piece of advice, actually. Picture what you want her to do instead of what she might do, in a very neutral way. And then the other piece of advice is that if you start to see her starting to squirm around, lay down, and get like hyper kind of excited, or starting to really shy away in a way that seems fearful, you know, that's when you need to stop and wait for her. So now onto the how to get her into her crate without the e-collar on. And you know, this is actually probably a pretty good example because Quail is, oh God. Quail is, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. No, I don't know what I was trying to say. There you go. I'm pretty tired. I've had a long day. Oh, this is a good example because Quail's actually a little bit more worked up than she normally is with the food. She knows she's going to get fed. So this is actually a little bit more on par with the intensity she would have at your house, even though it's still probably significantly less. So I'm just going to move this so you can see her crate. And see how I handle this. No. Take her e-collar off. So I'm going to get her leash loosened, her stopper loosened, and I have the leash on. So there's no e-collar on right now, but there is a leash on. Yeah. And I'm going to, let me actually start over. Let's go. I'm going to give her an opportunity. I'm not going to give her a lot of leash, but I'm going to keep it a little bit looser than what I showed you last time, because I actually want to test and give her an option. Are you going to spin in this crate? So it's a little loose, but not enough for her to take it in and spin around. Did you see that? I do prefer to stand over to this side. This door just won't stay open, so it's hard for me to make a super solid video. I'm not going to have to find a way to keep this open so I can do more for you. There you go. All right. Now, what she's not doing right now is spinning in circles, because that's not always the case. Sometimes when she knows the e-collar's on, she will automatically go into circles. So if she goes into circles, what I want you to do is to immediately add leash pressure and then bring her out. I'm putting her on a place, but you could just put her into a sit if you wanted. And then you would sit her, and then you would put her in again and give her another set of choices. Are you going to spin in a circle, or can you just go into your crate and sit still? Okay, so she's not making any mistakes right now, so I can keep moving forward. But if she starts to go back into any of that old behavior, that's exactly what you need to do. And then I'm going to be using the same technique here that I used in the previous video, where I am going to have her take her own leash off. Right, so I need to make sure that that leash is loose enough so that I can, and that you see how I always keep that copper clasp down below her neck? And I want the leather stopper super loose. I'm going to I'm going to loosen her leash. Okay, well, she's already giving it to me, trying to slow it down for your sake. But loosen that leash super loose, pull it out like this. She'll take her head out from it, and that does not wig her out because she's taking that leash off herself. So that's what you're going to do. You close the door. You know, you might want to stick around for a couple minutes. I don't know where her crate is, because, you know, she might start spinning in circles, and in that case, you might have to come and slam your hand on the top of the crate or bang the crate around. She's going to be in a lot better state of mind when she comes home, so she actually might respond to something like that now that she's a lot more balanced. So that's how you're going to take the leash off without the e-collar on. I'm probably going to advise you, I got to get her out right now because my nighttime potty guy needs her e-collar on her when he potties her tonight. So I'm not going to shut the door, but it has been working. Oh shoot, I also didn't mention she needs to be sitting before you close the door. So once that leash is off, and that leash is off and she's in that crate, you need to make sure she's gonna sit before you close the door. That's the other piece of advice. I'm probably going, because you guys were already in the habit of rotating her collar every 4 hours, I'm probably going to encourage you to do that for the first at least maybe week, and then, or even the follow-up, just so I can get a progress report before I move you forward. Hey, I know you want to eat, but you need to be patient. You see that head flick? I never, ever, ever do anything when she does that head flick. That is so bossy. And if you let her boss you around, it's gonna turn around and she's not gonna listen. She's gonna backfire and she won't listen to you anymore. So don't ever give in to that. I know it's kind of cute, but don't ever listen to that and follow through with what she's asking. But I want you to keep the e-collar on a little bit, until a little while after she comes home, just because there are going to be some super strong tendencies that are going to pull her back to that old way of being, and you might not be able to smack your hand on the crate or get her into her crate without an e-collar on, without an actual disaster on your hands. So we don't want to spin her all the way back to where she was, so you might have to have that e-collar on her until she settles more for you. But this is a great video reference for you with the ears and any issues moving forward without that e-collar on by getting her in and out of her crate. This is going to be a constant reference guide for you so that she doesn't fall backwards.